We must see the
a consequential order must be obeyed first, as to even those who have not attended the law class. Now you want that place. That place.
This is where it comes.
So why don't we start that first? You have that angle open now. Nothing is holding you from doing that now.
You look at it and make sure and understand that restructuring is what Nigeria needs.
Today's Quest from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. Catch Annie on this frequency, Monday to Friday.
That is absolutely their position. Respect the law. Now the question will be which law?
Today's Quest, a sure way to start your day.
Because he hasn't really done anything here. Yeah, because both parties are contending.
It's that time of the day when we get to go through the newspaper pages and see what the headlines are saying. And trust me, coming from last night, because I have been, keeping myself abreast with all the newspaper headlines emanating, because I want to collect and select the best stories for you. And my gosh, we have a lot to cover today. Remember, we are not just talking. We're talking for development. We're talking to ensure that we have a great society. But something did pop in my head last night while I was going through, rummaging through the various newspapers. And it is the fact that the people who do not want Nigeria together are afraid of what Nigeria can become. Looking at how blessed the country is, look at the various parts of Nigeria. We've got natural resources in abundance, and the number of untapped resources scares me. It scares me because I'm wondering why they keep limiting the country, to just agriculture and oil, when we've got so many other things that we could tap and become world power and, become even greater than countries like China and America and the UK. But they won't let it be, and they'll keep causing confusion in our midst. But that's what I think. That's my personal opinion. You can argue with that. You can disagree with it. But that's why we have the show this morning. Remember, the show is Today's Quest. 6 minutes already gone into the hour of 8. And we will be having the first segment, as already advertised, the newspaper review. After that, opinion poll will come your way by 9, run up until 10:30 or thereabout, where we will bring you real talk, where we will focus on the insecurity emanating from Owerri and how it has affected other parts. IPOB here, IPOB there. We will talk about that during the real talk segment. So stay tuned. I am Kalada, and I like to think of myself as the man of the people. Today, I would like to start from the Nation newspaper, where I have the headline, Kalu, I don't want to be president, but. So we're going to find out what the but is. Let's see. Senate Chief Whip Orji Kalu stated he is not interested in becoming president, but will not hesitate if given the chance to pilot the leadership of the country. Kalu spoke on Sunday during an interview on Channel TV program Politics Today, monitored by the Nation. He said, I am not having that kind of ambition, but if I am given, why not? I can take it. If visions are being seen and people say this and that, if it is the will of God that I will become president, why not? I am very capable mentally and otherwise to do whatever Nigerian people want me to do but not through prophecy. Ha ha. The former Abia governor further canvassed support for Southeast presidency ahead of the 2023 elections. I believe if Nigerians and the Nigerian people want to be fair, a Southeast president from Igbo extraction will be the next thing to do, he stated. On insecurity, he lamented the country is painfully at war with itself. He called on citizens to come out quickly and address issues concerning them. So you heard it yourself. Senate Chief Whip saying, I don't want to be president, but if I'm blessed with it, should I use the word we used during the local government elections? If I'm coronated, just maybe I will, pilot the affairs of Nigeria and be the Moses of our time as I take Nigeria to the promised land. And that's what I understand Kalu is trying to say. but then again, I have my concerns. I have my concerns, very much concerned, because this is the same person at one time that was convicted, even though they say the judge was not supposed to be the judge in charge of that situation. But he was convicted and he was sentenced to a couple of years in prison. That same guy is saying if he's given the chance, if he's blessed with being the president, he will pilot the affairs. Is that not the situation we have? I mean, okay. But he is saying that it's time for the Southeast to become president or to produce president, but he's not going to vie. Okay, he's not going to vie, rather. That's the right word. He's not going to vie for the presidency, but he will pilot the affairs if he's coronated. I'm finding it hard to. Okay, maybe Emmanuel Ndukwe will help me understand this political dialogue brought about by Orji Uzokalu. Good morning to you, Emmanuel.
Good morning, Kalada. Good morning, Nigeria.
Uzokalu is saying that he doesn't want to run for presidency, but if the Nigerian people will, call him to lead, coronate him, so to say, and then he will pilot the affairs of Nigeria, and he will surely take us to the promised land, because he said he's capable mentally and otherwise. What's your take on that?
Well, my take is what it should be, that none of them is always ambitious. You heard me well.
Yeah, I heard you very well, yeah.
Edwin Clark.
Yeah.
Said that President Jonathan was not ambitious.
Interesting.
Then Emmanuel Ndukwe asked, well, if he was not ambitious, why did he go in for presidency or for any position at all?
All right.
And so Adi is telling you, no, I may not be. I don't want to be. But if Nigerians, you again should juxtapose that with what happens once they cross from one party to another. After defection, they will tell you they are going back to their family. You see, I think it should not be something that will worry us in this country once politicians make comment. As a matter of fact, Orji is building his bridges down silently. If it works out, I think that's what he should have done.
But someone who has a case to answer, I mean, the EFCC is saying they will not drop the case irrespective of whatever ruling that did come, saying that the judge that convicted Uzokalu should not have been the one in charge of the case due to promotion to a higher court. Do you see such a person, or do you think such a person should be making such a comment given the fact that he has not cleared his name?
Yeah, what is holding him? He didn't free himself. He got. It was see.
But you
I don't know what the EFCC is
my
saying.
point is there is still an allegation hanging, because the judge not being fit to handle that case means that another judge would begin the case all over again. So it's yet to clear his name. Should such a person be holding, holding such an ambition?
No, Kalada, you see, until a case goes to court, it's not gone.
Okay.
So in the interim, The man could indeed either be frolicking with whatever pleasure he has, or be basking in the euphoria of the freedom he has now. If the EFCC says we do not accept whatever judgment came out,
they have actually gone to court.
Go, let them go. And like I said, until Oji is invited to court, the case is not.
All right, let's quickly move on now to another conversation. And this one is also interesting. It is on This Day newspaper. Caption: Governors, speakers disagree on fixed monthly payment to states legislatures. And it's interesting because the last time I was on Today's Quest, I was asking the question, would the legislators agree to the monthly allocation, like they were NYSC members from the governors. Now, the story reads like this. Governors and speakers of houses of assembly in the 36 states of the Federation have disagreed over the modality for the disbursement of funds to the legislature under the Financial Autonomy Regime Bill to begin in May. This day gathered at the weekend that while the governors are offering an irreducible minimum payment of 100 million monthly to each of the legislatures in the states to fund their operations, the speakers are insisting on 250 million naira monthly. The governors also rejected the demand of the Judiciary Staff Union of Nigeria and the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigeria that the gross allocations should be remitted to the two arms of government directly. The governors' headline position, it was learnt, might delay an early resolution of the strike embarked upon by judicial and parliamentary workers in the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory to press for the implementation of financial autonomy for state judiciaries and legislatures. Now, something caught my attention now, gentlemen. The legislators, or legislators, I beg your pardon, are not asking for direct autonomy. They're saying, okay, if you're going to pay us monthly, you just increase it from the 100 million you're offering to 250 million. While the associations, the Judiciary Association, that's Jusun, and the Parliamentary Association, that's Pasan, I believe, are saying, no, we want direct disbursements to the two arms of government. Let's take it from the legislators, the legislative arm of government. What is the game they're trying to play? Are they trying to shoot themselves on the foot or what? Because I don't understand. We're talking about autonomy, and you're saying, okay, fine, if you're going to pay us monthly, give us 250. That's the last price. We're not going to come down. They have. Oh my, Emmanuel, what do you think about this?
I think is the legislators you are talking about.
Yes, now. The state houses of assembly.
I know. And that's the legislators now, the state houses of assembly. Of course, it runs in their blood to follow whatever the governors say.
Okay.
It runs very much in their blood. You remember, this is just the second time at knocking on their door for this autonomy. The first one, they rejected it. They were not trying to liberate Emmanuel Ndukwe, but all of them. But they rejected it. Making me, at that time, gave an analogy that I don't blame them. Because it's just like maybe you see a hen go and then lay eggs. And as the hen is coming back, he sees a very big snake coiling around the eggs. It will not go in ordinarily. And if the snake can talk, say, hey, if you take that autonomy, you know what will happen. That is the governors. And of course, they went back and said, no, we are not accepting the autonomy. Now, if there maybe, perhaps there could be also a heart-to-heart discussion with their principals, and they said, okay, we can pay you this much and all that. So forget about anything about this autonomy. Forget it. Now, we can increase it. Whether it is what themselves are coming up to say, because it's negotiable. Do you understand? If their principals agree, for instance, the principal may be saying 2,000, and themselves are saying, no, give us 10,000. They can also negotiate it after, maybe a middle ground.
How do you haggle over something that is already in the Constitution.
No, see.
How do you negotiate such?
One thing we must understand is that the body of law, if not activated by humans, remains in principle the body of law. Now, for instance, they are not saying they're against the Constitution because it's there as the body of law governing this country.
Right.
But what they are saying is that, in fact, there should be, because compromise is also needed in discussions. We wanted this much. Forget about that autonomy. And like I said, it runs in their blood to always run away from autonomy.
I remember the last time I was here on the show in the morning, and I said, is there a possibility that the governors will win? I don't know if you remember when I asked that question. We're talking about the judiciary and the legislative arm of government. And I said, the governors might win given the fact that they are offering monthly stipends to the other arms of government. Now, the legislative arm is coming to say, we don't want autonomy. And autonomy would have meant that whatever all the governor has on them will reduce to the barest minimum. But, what did Chiminem Esquire, legal advisor, Pandev Obiakpo chapter, and a voice for the people of Ingbo Eslero, people of Igbo. Okay, interesting. You didn't put the minority today. But anyways, welcome on the show. Good morning to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kalada.
You are a legal advisor. Why would the legislative arm of government shoot themselves on the foot with such? Because that's how I see it. What do you think could be behind
Kalada, in the words of Montesquieu, the man I respect so much.
You respect that guy a lot, I can see.
He advocated for complete separation. But let me tell you, there is fusion of power. The legislature cannot do without the executive.
Okay.
And they know the enormity of doing it alone.
Okay.
Now, what we are looking at, what the government of Nigeria, we are now running into a regime where we see lieutenant and battalion process, where the lieutenant becomes the commander, and the commander here is the executive.
All right.
Now, what do you expect? Even if you are to be in the legislature, what will Kalade alone do? Where the majority of votes, what they look at is not minority vote, it's majority vote.
All right.
We saw the likes of Ben Mori Bruce after he said, making common sense. He went there and joined the bandwagon. What was the process? It was all over here in the Niger Delta, making common sense. But it didn't work there.
All right.
There is a climate that is ruling those people.
All right.
And once you join that umbrella, you must abide. What decision would they take without the governors? These legislatures, they are being who are the appointers? The appointers are the governors.
But my point is that appointment, even if they are appointed like you said, even if they are appointed, that appointment lose its grip on them once they get financial autonomy, because now they can sponsor themselves politically because they have direct access to the money.
Who told you? There is an implied command within which, even if they run, haven't you seen a councillor that takes his salary? Even though there is no autonomous process, he takes his salary, but he's being commanded by whoever that appoints him as a councillor. And he pays indemnity to some persons. He must pay it. Because you have to go for second and third tenure. So even though they decide today to say, look, the whole Nigeria, that there will be an autonomy for local government and call it all the JSUN, all the look, they must be accountable to somebody. Each legislature is accountable to somebody, and that is your superior. If not in the party, at the state level, at the local government level.
The people are supposed to be the ones that they are accountable to.
We are full of this. We have a system that are falling below the value that is expected. Who are the electorate? The electorates have been jettisoned over time. Today we are talking about autonomy. The legislators are saying, look, without the executive, nothing. Even if they decide to take the autonomy, the power is being tied to the executive. Do you know what happened within the electoral level? In my electorate, I know what goes on. Look, the level of executive rascality is so much that even in other clime, even the ministers cannot do anything without the president.
Can we have...
That is the level we are into. That is the system. It's a systemic failure. This is the only country that institution doesn't work. Recently, just yesterday, Lagos State Governor Sanwo-Olu had to pass it.
We will get to
now,
that one.
I'm just telling you the system we are into.
I want to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Can we not reduce the rascality of these governors? I mean, for the sake of the people, not even if not for themselves. I mean, because a lot of them will not even come for another term. Let's be frank. But for the sake of
not
the
when
people,
you are anointed, though. There are people that saw it.
A lot of the governors are going to be ending their second term.
They are going somewhere.
But they will not have the power to anoint
people will still
anymore.
look at them. There is this power that is in them. Even if a governor decide not to go tomorrow, the like of Orji Zokalo, people are still surrounding him.
My point is, or my question is, can we not have you and I or the legislators do this for the sake of the people?
They can't do it. Like I said, it's a system from the party level. When once you are anointed, look, there's something that goes on in the party that you must understand. In fact, it goes on the religious ground. When you have a pastor, then you have ministers surrounding the pastor. Whatever the pastor does is perfect. It takes a very perfect, because at the committee level, there's always a meeting. For you to even be among the disciples that are trusted, then you must be loyal to the pastor. That goes down to the political level. At the caucus stage, for you to be a member of the caucus, I'm not a member of the caucus. So as long as PDP is concerned, there are people that are caucus member. For me to attain that thing, I must be a fool. I must follow the trend, even when they are pressing you. So those incidents must. And he spoke. I think is concerning what's the minister that just Pantami to resign. Look at what is happening. They say he will go. The legislators are saying, look, that he will go. So what goes around there is the majority voice. They are title. There is nothing. What we need in this country is class action. But who is ready to come out? By 12, everybody will want to go back. People are hungry. You can't do anything in this country. Protest in this country. When we go by 6, by 7 people will be coming back.
So you're saying Josun and the Parliamentary Association are just wasting their time?
Look, let me tell you.
No, say it as it is. They're just wasting their time.
They are wasting their time. Would they beat me? Did anybody give me? Look, they are wasting their time. Look, it's like the people we have today, the likes of Ayuba Waba. What is he doing for the labor? He has gone to his comfort zone. I told you. Today, how much is fuel? It will skyrocket to 300 naira. If you go to any fuel station, you just say, please, put 200 naira on. Do you know how much they put for you? We are in a classless society.
All right, let's move
Nigeria
on.
has broken.
Let's move on now. Serap demands probe of missing $30 million saved school funds. This is the headline on The Guardian, or one of the headlines on The Guardian. And the report says Socioeconomic Rights and Accountability Project has urged President Muhammadu Buhari to direct Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Mr. Abubakar Malami San, and appropriate anti-corruption agencies to investigate allegations that $30 million Safe School Fund is missing, mismanaged, or diverted, and to bring to justice anyone suspected to be involved, as well as recover any missing money. The body urged Mr. President to direct Malami and the anti-corruption agencies to investigate the reason the Safe Schools initiative, established to bolster security at schools in response to the abduction of the Chibok schoolgirls, has failed to stop frequent abduction of students and to ensure safety and security of Nigerian children in schools across the country. Now, I would not want to focus on Serap in this very report. I would like to focus on the fact that there is the allegation that $30 million is missing. And I want to think this is true. No offense to anybody. I want to think this is true, because why this money or this fund was initiated in the first place was to make sure that there was no reoccurrence of what happened, to Chibok schoolgirls at the time. But we've seen frequent attacks, which probably brought the investigation into the funds in the first place. And by the way, I should inform you that there is the move by the UN and some other international agencies to refund so as to ensure the safety of schools, especially in the north. Because we saw, of course, over the weekend where 3 students were killed in Kaduna State, which was it was very wrong. Where are all these laxities coming from? Because we hear missing funds there. We also hear missing funds the other place. Where are they getting it all wrong? I'd like to hear from you. Let's start with you, Chimene.
Well, we are getting it wrong from the time we started fighting the judges. Let me hold it there.
Okay.
Start from there. Now, you started fighting the system that ordinarily a system was put in place. Now, if there are infractions as to where there are contrary situations where judges have been suspected to have, you set up a mechanism, you come out with an alibi, not a political alibi. And we saw situations where these judges were chased. The system became so bastardized. At that point, we had expected that when Mr. President announced that the fight would be holistic, that it would have started, it would have been an in-house fighting.
All right.
Now we discovered that among the, he has
immunity.
That's what I'm saying. You will institute it. It does not matter. At least something would have been. There would have been a move.
Right.
Now, apart from that, we have seen financial crime emanating from institutions like the army, where weapons were stolen. So many things were monies appropriated for weapons were stolen. Up till now, all these things are kept down the drain. And we have seen the process of employment, monies that were meant for school feeding. All these things were surrounded under Mr. President's table. Nobody has been arrested. Now people have taken it too. What would they do? Everybody is stealing. Today, the monies are, I think you're talking about $15 million. $30 million.
Yeah.
We keep hearing that monies are being missing. Who are the people responsible?
So you are saying the president got it wrong from his appointment.
Being even under being the minister for petroleum, superintending over petroleum, what is going on in that sector? Monies are being missing. There is a fluctuating price going on under that same ministry. So the whole thing is so bastardized. So the level of trust is so weak. Nigerians are no more reposing the confidence that it's now becoming a jamboree that we are fighting corruption, and corruption is left within your tables. As I speak to you, people are stealing on daily basis. Each ministry have one investigation or the other. Power has just come in. One would have thought that there would have been a precedent of estate. You can't run a democracy without the press. There must be accountability.
I am not arguing with you. I'm not arguing with you, Chiminem.
Yeah.
But the president himself hardly comes to the media when he's trying to do certain things.
We have known him from '83.
So maybe Bauer is also like that. Maybe
that is not what he told us. But he came on media. He started on the platform of media. He told on Rostrum that look, this fight will be holistic. Tinubu is moving. On the day of election, we saw what happened.
But he's been investigated.
What is happening today?
He's been investigated.
Look at what the Lagos State is passing. The same thing that took place here. I'm trying to attend to your question.
Yes, please.
We are only saying that this administration is anchored on falsehood. And because of that,
all right,
you can see virtually in all the regions, people are beginning to resort to self-help.
All right.
Nigeria is falling down. In fact, the level of accountability in terms of governance is at zero level. Then when you talk about security, we're almost at the verge of extinction. Then corruption is just a jamboree. Right. It has become an invitation to treat. We don't even believe if they're fighting corruption.
Let's pause you there now. We have another headline in The Guardian that has caught our fancy, and it is captioned as this: presidency now employer defender of terrorist bandits. This is coming from Fayose, who is responding, of course, to Pantami's issue. Should he go? Should he not go? And he's saying the president has proven, or the presidency has proven to the people of Nigeria that, it is supporting terrorism. Do you agree with his take? Because I know we've talked about Pantami too much already, but, a lot of people are still coming out and they're saying they're having their take on this issue, and this is Fayose's take. Do you agree, Fayose?
Well, I may not be, engineered by the factors that are surrounding Pantami, but I think, when you watch at the trending issues, we use circumstantial evidence to make decisions to, one's past behavior. Now, when you look at so far how, it's like what Sheikh Gumi is doing now,
all right,
and looking at the character of Pantami, and so far how persons are being radicalized. I cited the case of what happened in Rwanda, where we had child soldiers at 7 years, 10 years, they were given rifle to fight. And upon going to CCT, we discovered that most of those people were able to testify what they did.
ICC.
Yes, ICC, yeah, what they did 10 years ago and 11 years ago. So it means that Pantami was at a conscious state. He knows what he was doing actually. Now the whole ball lies in the table of Mr. President, because he has the right to fire.
Right.
So, but at this point, we had expected that a country that runs decent democracy would have called on Pantami to resign. In fact, he would have honorably resigned at this point.
Should Abari be resigned then?
For doing what?
For being a shorty to Kanu, I'm going somewhere.
Okay.
A wanted person in Nigeria, who some say, if you want to argue from the government's perspective, some say he's a terrorist. Should Abari, because you're saying Pantami should resign for comments he made about the terrorist group Boko Haram. Abari, did sign a surety so many years ago for a man he believed, to be genuine, but the government is calling a terrorist now. So should Abaribe resign as well?
The difference between Abaribe,
right,
the crime of Nnamdi Kanu, and that of Pantami, they are two different things. They may be geared towards terrorism.
They are called terrorism.
Now, they may be geared towards terrorism.
Okay.
Yeah. But that of Pantami, we are talking about somebody who supports, who has supported, who has always said, look, ISIS. We saw a lot of comments.
All right.
Even as being an Islamic cleric or what, he was even sacked. If you look at his... so this is not a man with a good character. From his childbirth and all the rest, we have seen precedent that accounts that this man has supported the ISIS. Right. And like I said, from the books he has written, areas that he has traveled, we have seen some, chronological positions showing that he has been there with them and he has always supported them. Right. So now, when you look at Abaribe coming out from the Senate, a man who has, I can sign shorty for a man whom I believe that is innocent.
But can you sign shorty for someone you don't know?
Abaribe knows Nnamdi Kanu.
So my point being,
Abaribe knows Nnamdi Kanu. And to what extent before you sign shorty, there are two things you must do.
Okay.
Telling the court that I will provide the accused.
Thank you.
And if the accused absconds, of course you should be arrested. But at this point, there are reasons. Abaribe, wait now, as at when, yes, I will provide the accused. Right. As at when Nnamdi Kanu absconded, remember, it's the duty of the police to equally monitor.
Right.
It does not even rest on the shorty alone. It rests on the police, and they have collected everything that Nnamdi Kanu, including his passport. Okay. So how the same person that you have made that you have accused or proscribed to be a terrorist, you invaded his house, and we saw what happened at this thing at Afra, where some soldiers came and so many things happened. So I don't want to digress to that point, but I think that Abaribe is there. If there are anything, it is the duty of the court to file a motion for arrest. Right. They can as well invite him, but up till now there is no invitation. It means that there is no alibi holding the shorty. There may be an innocent shorty. Abaribe in his position may have done it, out of his innocent act. But like I said, the matter is still on, and Nigeria is running the same Interpol system. Nnamdi Kanu is not invisible. Right. If there are areas they think that, after all, we saw how they arrested a man from Chad, and they brought him down to Nigeria. So there is something sinister about what federal government is not telling us. So it's quite different. The Abaribe's position is quite different from what the Pantami has done so far. We have thought that if he's a minister that is responsible, that at this point he would have resigned and said, look, let me be investigated.
All right, let's pause you there. Let's get to Emmanuel. While you stepped out, Emmanuel, we're looking at the Guardian headline, Fahishe saying the presidency is now a defender of terrorists. And, I asked the question I posed the question to Chimene Manning, who was saying that Pantami knew what he was doing, and of course, so he should resign. And then I asked him, Abaribe and Pantami, they seem to have similar issues, because Abaribe somehow supported Nnamdi Kanu with that surety he signed, and so
15. The ideology of the terrorist was running in his blood.
All right.
But for the presidency to be dubbed a supporter of terrorists, I will not agree.
All right.
And that's Fahishe is on his own alone. But coming to Abaribe and who again?
Abaribe and Kanu.
And Pantami. You are now saying that Abaribe signing that shorty for Nnamdi Kanu. No. There's a big difference. Let me tell you.
Okay.
A shrine, even a shrine, you know what a shrine is, has a friend.
Okay.
What I mean by this parable is that even a shrine that is killing here and there's somebody he must not kill. He's priest.
Okay.
Who is serving him, who is doing everything, he leaves him. Because they know themselves.
All right.
Now, you see Ndume sign for Minor. How did it end?
Minor has been caught.
Thank you very much. If he wasn't caught, Ndume already gone in for it.
Exactly.
Let me tell you, Abaribe soon has a K-leg. Apologies to Chief Obasanjo. Abaribe soon has K-leg. If the soldiers were not at Afaruku, wouldn't Nnamdi Kanu have?
See, gentlemen, that's not the wait. Wait. That's not the angle I'm looking at it from. Now,
I'm just trying to clear the way for you to understand. I'm looking at it from
Pantami's argument, where people have said that it was in those days he did not know better. and people are still calling for Chimenem, one of them, still calling for his resignation. He said he did not know better.
If he's calling for his resignation, I'm calling for his sack. For his sack.
And I am saying, Abaribe also, probably friends with Kanu, probably did not know that Kanu would get to the point where he will be termed a terrorist in Nigeria, and he signed surety for him. So if he did not know, is the excuse, and people are still saying Pantami should resign. Should Abaribe resign as well?
No, Abaribe should have nothing happening to him. Yes, the two situations are quite different. Okay. The Abaribe,
but it has to do with terrorism, both sides.
No. See, Nnamdi Kanu waiting now. Nnamdi Kanu, as at the time Abaribe signed surety for him, has IPOB been proscribed?
No, it hasn't.
Thank you very much.
That is what. See, get my point. That is why I am saying that not knowing is probably a good enough reason. Maybe just as Abaribe did not know, maybe Pantami did not know as well and should be forgiven.
Let me even tell you, even if somebody has been declared a terrorist, arrested, and there's reason to grant him bail, somebody also must sign surety for him.
Okay.
That's why I say the shrine has friends. Because see, Abaribe's son, Abaribe can, in any court at all, he will be free. He said, this guy, I promise to bring him at any time you people need him. You roll your tanks or whatever to his home. All
right, let's move on now. Let's leave this conversation. The argument will probably continue when the phone lines are open. But right about now, we'll go to the Vanguard newspaper where I did see the caption that caught my attention and should catch yours as well. Where is it now? Interesting one. FG to review political office holders' salaries soon. And it's coming from the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC. Now, Chairman of the RMAFC, Elias Mbam, said over the weekend that a review of the remuneration of political and judiciary office holders has begun. The RMAFC chairman disclosed this on Saturday at Amagu community in Uko LGA of Ebonyi State during the 7th Ofala Festival and 30th anniversary of the coronation of Eziogo Alo Erima Ogwudu III of Amagu Kingdom. Mbam was conferred with a chieftaincy title of Aka Ikuchu Onwa II. Others are not really necessary. He went on to say that there will be a review. There will be a public hearing on the review, and the review might go upwards or downwards. He said the reason for the review is due to the current economic situations in the country. Now, I have a concern for this, or I have a concern with this, because he said it might go upward or downward. And we all have agreed that the reason for high cost of governance majorly is because of the high salaries and take-home allowances a lot of public office holders go with. The question in my head is, should we be talking upwards? I mean, really, where states like Kaduna laying off workers because they can't meet up salary or minimum wage of 30,000 naira. Zamfara, is it Kanu State? Kanu State thinking of slashing to 18,000 naira, the former one. So my point is, RMAFC, should they be saying upward? Really?
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
They should be saying upward.
All right.
But remember that the upward review has not been effected. You see, these are promises. See, seeing will be believing. Now,
this is Nigeria.
No, hold on. Just listen and then hear the wisdom in what I'm answering you.
Okay.
Now, you said because a father certainly must start training his own son or daughter, not another person's, except something is wrong with that man or woman. Now, Mbam is the chairman of Revenue Mobilization and Fiscal Commission. He cannot go into any other place to say any maybe department of government that will be responsible for reduction of staff.
All right.
Do you understand me? His own is to talk about revenue, to increase or to reduce. And remember, the major reason why there could be an upward review or downward review is the finances of the nation.
Okay.
And so if Mbama and his team looks at the whole thing and eventually the finances are dwindling, then the revenue will go downward.
Emmanuel, you remember when the legislators argued that they don't get paid enough for the work that they do? That was sometime last year.
That was their position then. Are they included?
Of course, now they are public office holders.
Okay.
Everybody, governors,
Thank
presidents,
you.
national
Listen
assembly.
now. Listen now.
Okay.
If they are included, I thought they said civil servants or whatever.
No, public service or public office holders.
Okay. If these people are included, that means the whole thing has met a brick wall already.
That's what I'm trying to
Because
ask you.
you don't try that on the Senate. I have told you that. You see, all of them have political parties. They can argue along political party line.
Yeah.
But once you remove 1 naira from their salary, all of them becomes one united party of Nigeria. They will tell you, in fact, bring down that man, bring him down. So if Mbam has to be very careful.
So there's a possibility that there will be indeed an upward review.
Yes, but it's just like a minimum wage. You cannot give what you don't have. If Mbam checks at the whole thing, instead of going upward, he finds out that the country's finances is going down. What he will only do is to leave it where it is. I tell you. Instead of incurring more debts, he will leave it. And remember what I said. The responsibility of pruning down the staff strength of public office holders or workers rests on another section of government. But Mbam's own is just look at the remunerations and all that of public office holders of the country. Now, if he looks at the whole thing, he channels them to Buhari. You see, sir, we've checked everything and there's no money to pay. You cannot go upward now. As a result, it should go downward. But because of this, our friends in the National Assembly, President Buhari will tell you.
Not just the National Assembly. I want to also thank the state houses of assembly, the governors, all of them.
When you talk about National Assembly, now add their younger brothers at the states. It's the same thing.
All right, let's get to Chimenem now. Chimenem, what's your take on this one? Upward review, they say.
I think they should. That is why I say we need economic thinkers. Right now, what is going on in most of the countries like Zimbabwe, South Africa, they are cutting short most of their, their
expenditures,
and that is how governance should be. Sometimes you look at the market value, you look at the economic system. If you look at what is going on now, there is virtually Nigeria is sliding towards another recession. Right. Now, politically, we're already on recession. Economically, we are under recession. And when you look at the market value, people are crying on daily basis. Now, if you can't pay the workers 30,000 naira, some states are winding up. Some states are even bankrupt.
All right.
I can name like 4 states that are not doing well in Nigeria.
Let's leave them.
We have thought that what government should do is that when states are winding down like this, you pump in money, you do some borrowing. And because most governments, just take it from me that most governors are not lucrative. Some of them are not thinkers. And this is where the economic team of this nation must do some great job. We have most of the economic team. I don't know if they are taking their advice. But at this point, I think it goes to show that we have a lot of responsibility. For you to, in 2023, it means that for you to come out as a governor, you must tell the people what you have to do for them. If there is a falling standard, as a governor, what do you have to do to make your state lucrative? Now, we have a benchmark. We have an economic team that is ruling this country. Now, theirs is to ensure that at so time, there could be recession. You begin to preempt what will happen. But we don't have these ideas.
Right.
And that is why states are sliding towards recession. So what I will advise is that it will be this upward review will be very difficult. Rather than let them keep it, states that have decided to go back to paying 18,000, it will cost a lot of repos. Of course, most states are yet to implement it. Even though Rivers State, I think they've started implementing. But problem with gratuity. So there will be a lot of
Rivers State.
Yeah, they've started implementing.
Implementing 30,000, you mean?
They've implemented it, but I don't know if they've paid.
Okay.
Government can implement.
No, I think they have started implementing the 30,000. The problem is the
gratuities and
adjustment for the upper levels and then gratuity.
So that is why
I don't know what you mean by they've started implementing it.
And the minimum wage is 30,000.
Government have signed. If government have signed, government have signed. So it means that it has taken a place. And I'm sure the last time I heard, I stand to be corrected here, if they will not speak from political point of view, call us, because I know they are waiting in their comfort zone. But God will allow me to speak here.
Just go. You're entitled to your opinion.
Yeah, so I think this is where the economic team, states, governors will have to rise. And this feeding bottle system of going to Abuja must stop.
Right.
By next year, like I said, let them please begin to, let us run a good, if we say democracy, the regions must control what they have.
Right.
Because what we're having now is that there are areas under the exclusive list where governors cannot, deliberate or venture into meaningful services like tapping into minerals. So it's all rested on the, federal government, and it's impoverishing most of the states today. So they must allow, there must be, that is why I said the night assembly is a stooge to Mr. President.
Right.
There is no idea, as I speak to you. I've not seen anybody that has moved a motion and said, look, pertaining the economic sector, what you will hear is how money will come into their pocket. And that is why states are being affected. Who are the people representing us? Can they look at the areas that Nigeria is sliding towards? We are virtually getting towards the verge of extinction. And as I speak to you, most people today can't even make ends meet. And they are called civil servants. Today you want to go back to 18,000. When in South Africa, they are paying 100,000 for minimum wage. What does it take? Is it that they have different people? Are they not human beings living in South Africa? Even at a point, Okonjo-Iweala has to go and, he became a value to the economy. And today, whether they are sliding towards recession, South Africa economy is rising on daily basis, if not for the COVID. So we must begin to think. During election, you see Nigeria economy diminishing. So who are there to calculate for us? Do we really think in this part of the country? So I think governors will have to rise and begin. Look at what this Professor Ben Alade is doing in Cross River State. Kudos. At the wake of the COVID, he saw what happened. He had to engage the economy. And today they have the best. And kudos to the River State government for this plant, to the cassava plant. So I think each state must rise and see how they can, ensure that the economy rise. What is 18,000? What is 30,000?
Let's quickly look at another headline. We have 6 more minutes for us to wrap up newspaper review. NNPC refineries idle for 19 months, record 177.21 billion naira loss. It's the caption as seen on the Punch newspaper. And in 19 straight months of not processing any barrel of crude oil, the government-owned refineries in Nigeria recorded a total loss of 177.21 billion naira. The latest data from the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation have shown. What's your reaction to that, Emmanuel Ndikoe?
Well, what else will I do? Will I bring back the loss? I won't. The problem is this. There is no transparency in the way NNPC runs. I really don't understand what is going on.
Is this a dent on the president being the Minister for Petroleum?
Well, it will only be a dent if he has not channeled his power, delegated his power to Silva, that is the Minister of State. He has always been that petroleum minister, I think, since his first tenure.
Yeah.
And Kachuku was given allowance, even though he had the allowance, but he can't talk to Barrow. See, that's the truth now, because what he pointed out about Barrow was not finally trashed by the president, who is supposed to be the intermediary between them. But whatever be the case, if the NNPC is making such a loss, I think that's the refinery we are talking about rehabilitation now. Good. Let us see after the rehabilitation whether there will be gain or the loss will continue.
All right. Let's get to hear from Ichimedem.
Like I said, who's to pretend over this NNPC? It's Mr. President. And this is a man has anchored his, his administration with, fighting corruption. So two things coming together. And you can see the floating price. Nothing is going, there are shredded policies going on. And people are shouting that, look, Mr. President, you must hit your sledgehammer. Marketers are telling you today, and what they tell you today, is not what the retailers are telling you. There is different policies going on. And so people are saying, look, can we just come out and have a clear-cut decision on what is going on in MPC? So if we're having this kind of fluctuations, then in the economy, what goes on the political ground? The same character is still manifesting there. And that is why we are not having a standpoint. Now, right now, if you go to filling stations, you see how the meters are adjusted. Nobody is pretending over it. And yet, we have a president that calls himself the Minister for Petroleum. I think, it's a shame. With due respect.
All right, then. We will wrap up. But gentlemen, before I want
government, there's no way you can be talking about ESN or IPOP. If you say you have another one, people are always replaced when one dies.
All right.
Simple.
What's your take?
I've said it that I think this is not what we want. There must be sincerity in the part of, the actions that government takes at times. I've said it that the only thing we need is negotiation. Government should ensure, even in the Northeast, look at how the bandits are just killing people. Now we are seeing actions taking place in the East, which I'm saying, look, the same action should be taken in Borno. Right now, the Boko Haram are hoisting their flags. And if you Google, you will see what is going on. Why not government use these same actions, use these same warplanes against these people? They are rebelling against the state. Now the same thing is being replicated in the Northeast and is gradually emboldened. Now what I will suggest is that government should, the same effort they are putting on in the East, they should put it up in Kaduna and in all the areas in the North. Because as I speak to you, the North is becoming another place. There are ungoverned spaces. Government should do what is needful.
All right, we have to go for the news update at 9. When we return, conversations continue. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour, when the big stories break, depend on
criminality to reckless and irresponsible acts. According to them, those responsible for the attack must be mindful that they do not have the monopoly of violence. The governor stated that all hands must be on deck to apprehend the attackers, whom they said constituted a small league of persons trying to harm the corporate existence of the nation. The Ijo Youth Council has issued a 30 days ultimatum to the federal government to constitute a new board of the Niger Delta Development Commission. The president of IYC, Timothy Igbifa, who addressed newsmen after a stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, condemned the continued use of sole administrators to govern the affairs of the commission. Igbifa also threatened a total shutdown of economic activities in the region if their demands are not carried out by the government. Igbifa further thanked President Buhari for providing finances for the completion of the East-West Road, but lamented over what he described as the poor construction and pace of the projects. Now, on the foreign scene, Guinea's last Ebola patient has been discharged from the treatment center. The World Health Organization said this marked the beginning of a 42-day countdown to declare the end of Ebola outbreak in the country. In February, Guinea declared it was dealing with Ebola after reporting its first death since 2016. The WHO responded with newly developed vaccines to contain the epidemic that claimed thousands of lives in several West African countries between 2013 and 2016. And that was the news update at 9. And today, 95.1 FM. Do not forget, take responsibility. Wash your hands frequently with soap on the running water. Alternatively, have with you at all times alcohol-based hand sanitizers. Avoid touching your face and eye contact surfaces to prevent the spread of coronavirus. Good morning. I am Kalada Kurubatabo. Stay tuned. Opinion poll starts after the break.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Returns Market presents Business Finance Summit coming up on the 3rd of May 2021. This summit is designed to change the financial perspective and status of individuals, small, medium-scale businesses, and corporate organizations by educating the participants on some vital financial issues facing business owners, professionals, and their partners will get a dinner date and sleep over at the Hotel Presidential, Port Harcourt.
God go bless you.
Thank you, my brother. Better hurry now. Hurry now.
Make I take landlord too by surprise. in the insane way increase house rent, I go shock out.
Our installment packages are very, very affordable. You can pay 300,000 naira monthly for 3 months, or 165,000 naira for 6 months, or better still, 100,000 for 12 months. No agent fee, no bush entry. You'll be given your deed of conveyance. Mango Villa Estate is located at a very serene and secured environment. And for our referral package, for 1 to 5 plots, if you refer a person to buy our land, from 1 to 5 plots, you get 5%. From 6 to 20 plots, you get 3%. And from 21 to 50 plots, you get 2%. Isn't that exciting? You can visit our office for more information at kilometer 17, Styles Plaza, Airport Road, Rupoku, Port Harcourt. Or you reach us through 090 210 49222. I take it again, 090 210 49222. So what are you waiting for? Take advantage of this wonderful opportunity that Mango Villa Estate is offering. This is an offer that you can't get anywhere else. Nice and serene environment. Come see for yourself. Walk into our office at kilometer 17, Airport Road, Rupoku, Port Harcourt. Better still, you reach us on our numbers 090 210 49222. 090 210 49222. And don't forget, offer valid while stock lasts. Are you not tired of being a tenant? Take the bull by the horn and give your family the life they deserve. Instead of gathering money to give to your landlord, you can gather this money and purchase a land of your own. Opportunity like this is not something you want to miss. Today, I'm a proud land owner, courtesy of Mango Villa Estate. You too can be the same. Take advantage of this opportunity and you will not regret it. Visit us or call our number 090 210 49222.
Talk radio. I listen to a lot of talk radio.
95.1 FM.
Opinion poll on today's quest.
More than 3 over 4 of the loots we are talking about in this country today were loots within the 16 years.
Here is a great opportunity to sample all our opinions on the issues raised.
Port Harcourt says the PDP is trying to divert our attention because Nigerian funds was looted by the people. Melody in Uniport says Madam Jonah is yet to come in terms of the fact that her tenure has expired. Annie, please tell him that investigation is not what you make public until the final stage.
Send your opinion to us on Facebook,
www.facebook.com/Today95.1 FM.
or on Twitter @TodayFM951. You can also sample your opinions with us on WhatsApp or on our SMS portal using the numbers 070-1933-9962.
For those who have been with us from the start, welcome back. For those of you just joining us, we say welcome. We just finished the newspaper review segment on today's quest, and now we are moving over to opinion poll. But before we completely do that switch over, there is a report that I think we missed out on that is very interesting that we should still trash before we look at the issues that were scheduled for conversations on opinion poll. Now, there is the new law. Lagos may take over Tinubu, Fashola, Ambode cases from EFCC. And it's interesting, like I said. Now, a new law signed by Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State mandates agencies like the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, and other anti-graft agencies to hand over corruption cases to the state governments. According to the legislation titled Lagos State Public Complaints and Anti-Corruption Commission Law signed by Sanwo-Olu last week, a copy of which was obtained by the Punch correspondent on Saturday, a new anti-corruption agency will have the exclusive rights to investigate financial crimes and corruption cases involving the finances of the Lagos State Government. Section 13, subsection 3 of the law reads, the Commission shall, upon the commencement of this law, take over the investigation of all anti-corruption and financial crime cases involving the finances and assets of Lagos State Government being investigated by any other agency. Emmanuel, what is happening? Nothing is happening?
Yeah, if it's a law and it's been signed to the extent that is not breaching the right of because EFCC is federal now.
Yeah.
Now if there is maybe a synergy as far as that law is concerned between the federal one and the state one, and the instruction is that it has to go to the states. Nothing has gone wrong.
It says it will take over.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean is to go to, because taking over means, of course, it leaves where it was to the other new one that took it over from them.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is that if the law, especially, where there's a conflict between federal law and the state law, the federal law takes precedent. But now, if Sanwo-Olu has signed this one, which is clearly a Lagos state law, and the federal one has allowance, it has the latitude, it has the leeway to hand it over to Lagos state law without qualms, fine, they handle it. But the implication, I must tell you, should it be, what will happen eventually is that the states will just rubbish, dilute those cases.
All right.
That is the truth. Because wherever a man has served as a governor, there must be sympathizers. And those sympathizers, these politicians have a way of all of them fraternizing or forget about whatever they do. In fact, this one will denigrate the other, that one will denigrate the other. But they have a way of fraternizing. If in the appointment of those that will make up the panel that will be taking care of the operatives, that will be taking care of such laws, that's investigations about whatever they are charging them with. In the states, you must have those that will support you. And the way EFCC would have been cannot be the same way the state will be.
Section 13, subsection 5 states the Commission shall have the power to the exclusion of any other agency or body to investigate and coordinate the investigation of corruption and financial crime cases involving the finances and assets of the state government. I remember the previous 3 governors of Lagos State are under investigation by the EFCC. I mean, this smells a lot of foul play, or this but I want to look at it from the State Houses of Assembly. Lagos State House of Assembly was the one who made this law. What were they thinking? What were they really thinking? One, if every arm of government or every tie of government decides to say, okay, we will not allow the EFCC investigators, like we see the court judgment of Rivers State, then would that not smell doom in the perspective of our fight against corruption?
That's what I have told you, what will come out of it.
All right.
I have told you the outcome will be dangerous in that you won't have the saliency of that particular exercise brought out. No, it won't. Because like I said, the state is the where that particular person charged is from. And so there are supporters, and all of them will indeed shake hands. The case will die. But the ACC would have done it without minding. No matter what you give them, whatever, they will not listen to you. It would have been more clearly drawn out, settled at the federal level.
All right.
But I tell you now, remember how I started? I said, if there is any law, who knows whether an amendment has been effected and all that, that seemed to have brought maybe unity between the federal and state laws and say, well, it could go anywhere. If the state wants, let them take over.
Yeah.
If such exists, then no problem.
But you see, there is a lacuna to that statement you just made. I don't think such exists. You know why? If such did exist, then the state government law would not be to the exclusion of any other agency as seen in section 13 subsection 5. They are saying that it's a law that is similar to the perpetual injunction gotten by the River State government.
It's all right.
It's a law similar to that, where the EFCC can never investigate the books of the River State government.
You see, as far as this world continues to exist, perpetual injunction will turn out not to be perpetual again someday. I tell you the truth.
Right.
But the fact is that for now, it remains perpetual. And the perpetuity must end someday.
Right.
But I'm telling you that, the Lagos State just made this law. Maybe newly. Thank you.
Last week.
Good. If by amendment or whatever, because I don't think the state law could just come out like that and take over federal law. No, I don't think so. But if they have effected an amendment and it runs even with the federal law, the operators of that federal law, they allow it to be done, then nobody should have any grounds.
All right.
But I tell you, the outcome, grounds or no grounds, there will be a dilution of the effect of that particular outcome of investigation or case.
Wadi Chiminem, welcome back. Now, Lagos State government giving us a law or postulating a law that says that EFCC can no longer investigate the activities of the financial activities of the states. The law stipulates that only the agency, the commission that the law is creating now, that is allowed to look into the books, into the financial books of the state. What does this imply? I'm looking at it from the angle of the House of Assembly in Lagos State. Are they giving more powers to these governors? Because you know that when they say they want to investigate the financial, the finances of the state, it has to do with the governors. It has to do with the past governors, because no other person is appropriating finances if not for the governors and of course their commissioners and all. And Lagos State has got Tinubu, Fashola, and Ambode in the investigative room of the EFCC. So, looking at all of these things, what do you make of it quickly?
Of course, the EFCC is a miniature of the Constitution, whether you like it or not.
Right.
And even though it's a delegated authority, now when you look at what is going on, you will see that EFCC's role and duty is to investigate financial appropriation. And if there is a law being legislated, as we heard yesterday, by the River State or Lagos State governor, I think they have every right to come out. But it is right, they will test it. They will file a motion to test it in the troubled waters of the court. The court will decide. Because right now we have seen issues where even it becomes possible to, for a very long time during the time of Peter Odele in River State, we saw how EFCC have been, the hands of EFCC have been tied here in River State. Now, it can only be backed up by the order of perpetual injunction. That's only, they can legislate over the law, but that doesn't exclude the EFCC not to investigate, because they have the power to investigate.
Okay.
But at this time, I think, I'm not saying what they're doing is jamboree, but we have seen a situation where matters like this will go to court. And before you know,
there's a perpetual injunction.
The court is not Father Christmas that will give you what you did not ask for.
Yeah.
They could get there and the Lagos State Assembly and whichever law they've legislated upon will be carried. And you know what is going on? This could be politics.
Yeah.
And over time, the industry of the judiciary have been hijacked. And to most of us, sometimes, we get angry and we feel somehow. You can see the position of my lecturer here, AJ Chinwo, how he has been able to try several matters, and he could tell you and come out like that. Some persons are not being sincere. So we have seen where, people out of, insincerity, we have seen matters being jettisoned. There could be political interest from the high and mighty. But at this point, like I said, it is the power and right of EFCC to investigate. And if they're coming out with this kind of law, it is equally the right of EFCC to do the needful, going to court to try that, legislation. Because one, it can be evil. And if not checked other states will emulate.
Right.
Eventually, other states are doing the same. But like I said, the perpetual injunction can be quashed. They can as well legislate. And
why would the House of Assembly give such a law? I mean, like I said earlier, they are supposed to be representatives of the people.
What did I say here? That whoever that has appointed you, you owe allegiance to him, whether by oath or anything, backing them up. Right. You can't do anything without the consent of the governor. It takes the House.
Right.
So what they do there is indicating that, look, whoever that is coming out as a candidate